Hello, I'm Dr. Cassie Quigley, and I'm an Associate Professor of Science Education at the University of Pittsburgh. Today I'm going to do a little review for you on Canvas. I'm going to show you how Canvas works by sharing my screen with you and just talk to you about a little bit about my experience and some of my students' experience. One of the things I did want to start with, though, is to let you know that although I have been doing online education for about 10 years and a huge online advocate now, I didn't come that way naturally. So about 10 years ago, when I was asked to create an online master's program, I was really quite hesitant about that. I knew I was a good face-to-face teacher. I was confident in those skills. I saw the value in that education, and I was really worried about what online education would mean for my students' learning and for that community that we developed, which I knew was so important to student learning and understanding. And so when I became introduced to Canvas, I had transitioned from Blackboard. I was really quite blown away by the sleekness, by the visual, usability of it, and really quite how easy it is to create really professional looking online education. The other thing is that just per chance, I was teaching the same course face-to-face as I was piloting the online program, and I was really blown away by the level to which my students who were on my online class outperformed my face-to-face class. Their products were better. They demonstrated a higher level understanding, and I was really quite shocked. Through some digging, I found out that it was because of just how well organized online education makes you become when you have a high quality LMS, or learning management system, to support you to do that work. And so what happened is that my students knew the expectations. They had plenty of examples right there. They had all of the information in one spot, which really helped to support them through their learning. And so I just wanted to mention that before we dig into Canvas, as someone to say, if you're hesitant about online education and about Canvas and learning management systems, I totally understand and can empathize with you. Okay, so I'm going to show you a little bit about Canvas. I'm going to show you and talk to you about some of the advantages from both a teacher standpoint and a student standpoint. So what you're seeing right here is the teacher viewpoint. So this is after a teacher has designed his or her class and what they will see right now. You'll see here, so it's coming up, shows nothing for next week. There's a calendar where they can click on, and it would show all of the different assignments that they had assigned and when those were due. You'll notice these are crossed out because the course is already finished, but they would be highlighted if we were still doing that course. So also this dashboard shows all of my classes that are here that I've designed. What's nice about Canvas is you can change the colors, so it really helps teachers to kind of remember, okay, this course is green, this course is red, really links them into that visual. The other nice thing about Canvas is it's a whole learning management system, which differs in a workflow. So workflows would be something like Teams or Google Classroom, which really are designed to be used alongside of face-to-face instruction and as an instructional tool. So Google Classroom is one of my favorite tools to use when I'm teaching face-to-face. If I need something really simple and just a housing for that. But as soon as I transition to online teaching, I need a more robust learning management system. And the reason for that is that Canvas allows for completely asynchronous courses. So I teach courses that I actually never engage with the students at all. So they're completely self-paced, completely asynchronous, but everything is housed in the learning management system in Canvas in that way. It really does and can run itself once you learn how to set up a course using proper instructional design. So this is the home page that I have designed, and I've included some buttons down here just to make this really user-friendly. Along the left-hand side are all the different integrations that I've included. And let's just take a look at some of the things from the student view now. So when I click on it from the student view, again, it looks really similar, but you'll notice these are only the toolbars that I have allowed for students to see. So these are all of the integrations. So if students wanted to see their assignments, they could click on here. This shows all of the assignments here, shows all of the discussions right here. Their grades could be linked right here. And then modules, which is really the home of Canvas, will come back to the different pages. Zoom is integrated right here as well. The other thing that I don't have integrated, but that could be, is also Google Drive can be integrated right within this, so you can link to all the Google Drives as well. So if we click on home, really Canvas operates from a standpoint of using modules. So if we click begin the course or on modules, we've got all of our modules in here. You'll notice that these are grayed out down here from the student standpoint, and that is because I have set prerequisites to say, okay, students, you got to do this stuff at the beginning before you can see what comes next. This is really a great feature of Canvas in that for courses that really build upon one another, or to kind of help students plan what to do next. If we don't want them to get really far ahead for whatever reason, then you can set those prereqs. You can also set it to when they can complete them at any time and kind of move through their own pace. So there's lots of options through this. And so we're just going to leave the student view just so we can see some of the work here. So when we click on the first module here, what you'll notice is I've given them a module overview, which is something I highly recommend and really enjoy about teaching online, is just how organized you can be and really clear about the expectations. So I've got, here's what I expect you will be able to do after you complete this, and here's what we're going to do. I also like to give a video overview as well. This just adds that layer of visual for our students, and it's one of the huge advantages of using online ed and using an integrated learning management system like Canvas. So I've linked this to YouTube. So here I'm talking.
And welcome to Module 1, which is titled Introduction to STEAM Education.
Again, this really just helps students kind of to know what to expect. It also makes it a little personal. One of the things that we have heard and really listened to from students is they like when their teachers record videos for them. It helps to make it personal. It helps to reduce some of that strain and drain of working on a computer. They can listen to those sorts of things. They can pause it. They can rewind. And that's even been a little different than, say, using Zoom, which they do enjoy, but just like all of us, can be also a draining piece as well. So I found that really interesting. So this is the first lesson overview. Again, I've got really clear expectations of what they will do, and then I've got the video here. So
hello, and welcome to Module 1, Lesson 1 of STEAM Education.
And so through here, what I've done is I've recorded done a voiceover over PowerPoint, and really provided this overview for students to be able to learn from. Again, Canvas has a really nice visual in terms of you just click next. If you need to go back, if you haven't done that, you can click previous. And so again, it's a really user-friendly tool in that way. One of the other things that students always remark to me about Canvas versus we just transitioned from Blackboard is that this is really set up like all other websites that they see and know how to do. They talk about how they've really had to use very little tutorials to understand how Canvas works. When they submit an assignment, they literally upload it very similarly to how they upload anything else. So they would do a search. Let me just show you real quick. I'll click on Student View here. And so they would take a survey here. And again, it looks very similar to some of the other things that they have done and kind of move through that. And then they would click submit. If they need to attach a file, they just search on their computer and upload and attach a file as well. And so again, it has a nice feel for students. Some of my favorite tools that are really quite different than any other LMS that I have worked with are some of the options in terms of SpeedGrader. So I'll show you just through another course that I'm working with. So when I clicked on the assignment, it's telling me you need to grade this assignment. So we know that this person has turned it in late, but she has done the assignment. So I'm going to be grading this. I just set this up as complete and incomplete. And you can just click through the different options to see how and who has submitted these assignments. So when I go back to my to-do list, this shows me all the students who have turned in things and things I need to grade, which is really quite nice from a user standpoint. So again, this person submitted theirs here, and I'm going to give her the same grade for the resubmission. She also resubmitted it and letting her know, okay, you did that work. So she would get an email. The other thing is as soon as I grade this, it shoots an email to the student to say, hey, your teacher graded your work in Canvas, and so it provides them with that notification if they set it up that way, which is really quite nice. Another of my favorite tools as well is looking at some of the analytics that it provides, which is really quite nice. So it shows weekly activity, student activity, who's been on the page how long, and the different grades. This is an ungraded assignment. It's some work I'm doing with teachers to help them how to use Canvas. But it provides some nice analytics for how long students are on, and how many times they log on and the percent that they're on as well, which is really quite nice. Again, if you want some course notifications, you can tell them how you want to enable those notifications, which is also really nice. Another thing that Canvas does is it has some different streams set up, so it kind of shows you some recent activities. So there were 2 announcements, 6 assignment notifications, and 2 discussions. Again, this is true for any course that you set up. These are just inherent within in Canvas. Another component as well is looking at the gradebook, which is really quite nice. So you'll see here that my students have done quite well. They've all turned in their assignments here. Again, it's got a test student, so this would show you if a student did not turn in the work. It shows up red, which is nice in their gradebook. Canvas also has its own messaging system. You can set them so that they go directly to your email, or you can read them within Canvas as well and respond within Canvas. Some other really nice tools in terms of Canvas is setting up some of the modules and doing some things like peer review. So if I were to want to set up an assignment and call it test, and say I wanted my students to engage in peer review, what I could do is during this process, I tell them, we're going to submit it online. You could set it up as a group. We could require peer reviews automatically, anonymously, manually. So if I want to automatically, I could say, everybody needs to do 2 reviews, give them the due date. Maybe I do want an anonymous, and then I set that up. And what happens is this alerts the students, hey, you've got a peer review. They click on it. They can comment on their peer's review. And this is a really nice, seamless tool that integrates really well with Canvas. And it also provides that bimodal learning. I use this in all of my courses from as young as grade 3. It provides students with an ability to say, when they're reviewing somebody else's work, to learn from that work and say, oh, wow, they did this really well. I should probably add that into my assignment. And then also, of course, getting that feedback as a learner is incredibly helpful. So it's really a nice bimodal learning tool that can be used quite seamlessly in Canvas, one of my favorite tools. Again, you would set up a syllabus here so that the students would know what to expect and what was coming, and you could provide them with all those sorts of materials that might be helpful. And then Canvas populates this course summary all on its own. So it kind of shows you what's coming up next. The other great thing about Canvas is that it has a huge warehouse of tools where you can search and look for things that perhaps might be usable for your own learning or your own teaching. So Perhaps, you're looking at something related to math. They've got some math games. They've got some calculus, some quizzes, mathematical practices. I tend to take some time to really look around in the Commons, and also I'd love to publish to this so that other people can use my work. And then there's also some opportunities for support in terms of if people get a little stuck, and so that's quite nice as well. One of the things that I've heard over and over again from teachers, even teachers who might be a little hesitant on using an LMS, is it really is necessary in terms of online learning. Unfortunately, we just don't know what's going to happen in terms of this academic year, but these types of tools, regardless, enhance student learning, whether you're face-to-face or online. My students, I use Canvas when I'm doing face-to-face teaching. They find it's one-stop shopping for them. They can go in here, they find everything that's linked up. It integrates with all of our systems, which for me is Box and Zoom and Panopto. For you, it would be, could be through Google Hangout or could be through Google Drive. And so really linking those things into one spot, which is really nice. And so once they learn how to use the tool, they find it as such an invaluable resource to their teaching. Thank you so much for your time today. And of course, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. My email is cquigley, Quigley, @pitt.edu. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.